Hey everybody, it's Anna. Time for our final card in this week's tarot story. So we open the week with the Major Arcana card, and we're closing the week with the Major Arcana card, and that is the Star. I think this is really interesting because that means the Major Arcana always carries with it important life lessons. So this life lesson actually I think helps illuminate the first one we had. Wheel of Fortune is about recognizing the universe is not doing things personally to you. The universe has its own rhythm, its own plans, its own agenda, and we are finding our way cooperatively inside of that. The reversal of Wheel of Fortune is saying basically things didn't go the way I wanted or expected. And that's the danger there is the mind will get resistant and fight with it and kind of lose energy trying to push against something instead of allowing itself to find its path through into new blessing. So the Star card happens in the Major Arcana after the Tower. The Tower is when a structure falls apart, and it falls apart because it is too small for us. It falls apart because we are ready to break free and do something new. But nonetheless, the fall of the Tower can be very upsetting to the mind, especially because the mind grows very attached to structures and to predictability. So as long as you're living inside a structure that you're pretty familiar with, the structure feels safe to the mind. And when that structure falls apart, the mind can get very disoriented and very angry, kind of like Wheel of Fortune reverse. Like, that's not what I wanted. Everything's turning against me, right? But if we can recognize the Tower breaks open to allow new growth or in response to growth, then we change the story. The story is not that things are against me and things are falling apart for me, but rather things are breaking open for me. And the Star is the follow-up to the Tower. The Star card is about restoration and feeling renewed and letting yourself be feeling into the expansion that caused the Tower to fall apart in the first place. So the Star has this woman, she's naked, which means she's in her skin, she's comfortable in her skin, she's feeling relaxed in the world, and she's pouring water into the pool and onto the ground. That's about bringing it, and water in the Tower connects to the intuition. So it's about bringing this intuitive genius in the water, on the ground, that balance of connecting the two. So it's about stepping into the balance between the mind, the human, and the spirit in a new way and letting more magic flow through. That's the expansion. The image here is also has a little bird in the background who I think is an ibis bird, which is a bird of prophecy. So saying you're now listening to a new voice or a bigger voice, a louder voice, a clearer voice of your prophecy. You're stepping into greater confidence. So this card, even though it is about restoration, it's about kind of recovering from the Tower, recovering from the shock and the disorientation and letting yourself be renewed. You're not being restored to what you were, you're being restored to what you've become. So you're stepping into a new consciousness. So if we look at this card in connection with the Wheel of Fortune reverse, we see that something doesn't go our way. The mind might see it as a setback or as a problem, but there aren't setbacks. In the spiritual journey, there's no setbacks. You can get stuck sometimes in your journey, but you can never go backwards. So this idea that we are losing ground, we're losing time, we're losing opportunities, it's just not true. Now, it's true in one sense that, we are on the planet for a limited time. So you can't just goof off forever. You can't just stay stuck forever and think you're going to stay stuck. You'll finally get off the planet. So, but beyond that, it's not like you run out of opportunities, that everything that happens is a break open to the new thing. If your mind can stay limber and relaxed, that Page of Pentacles energy from Wednesday, like stay in the world, stay engaged, be exploratory, and let yourself trust. The mind has to learn to trust the genius of the intuition, who knows what it's doing. It knows how to make magic, and it knows how to navigate the unexpected. So for the intuition, there isn't a path because it's not human, right? So the intuition's always making magic. It can always make magic wherever it goes. The limitation is the mind thinking that some situations are not workable, but they always are. But again, I say that as though it's easy. It's not easy. This is what we train the mind for. This is what we discipline the mind for and support the mind in the entire journey, is this sort of breaking open, this losing track of what is possible and regaining it. So the Star is an opportunity to regain our grounding, to help the mind sort of feel loved and supported and restored so that it's ready. It's ready to step into the final stage of the spiritual journey. This is the second half of the Major Arcana, right? So we're getting close to like our ultimate peak, right? So the mind needs, the whole journey actually is about the mind learning magic, gaining partnership with magic, with the genius of the intuition, and translating that magic into the physical plane. That is a very challenging thing to do. So the mind needs lots of support, lots of rest, lots of nurture in order to pull this off. So the Star is really a chance for nurture and support and for the mind to realize everything's okay. Everything's okay. Not only is it okay, we're in a better position. We're in a more expanded position. Like, let's see what's possible now. So once again, we're asking the mind to be curious, engaged, excited, and yeah, a good partner to the intuition, ready to play along. So yeah, give yourself a chance in the star to settle in, to be gentle to the mind, to kind of take stock of where you've been, take stock of what is opening up, and really ask the mind what is possible. Even letting the mind imagine what's possible. It's always good for the mind to imagine, not to get, married to its ideas or expectations, but for it to play along so that it does kind of feel engaged and anticipative and participating what can happen next. It's interesting because this is the season of Advent, and that last Sunday was our first Sunday of Advent, and the theme was hope. And hope is believing in things you don't yet see, or looking for things you don't yet see. It's always good to train the mind, to help the mind live in hope. What's possible? What might happen? Because the mind is then ready to engage. When it does happen, the mind's in a good position to respond and to engage it and to receive it. So that's our final card. See you next time.